everyone. My name is Karen Peabody. I am the owner of Forgewell Solutions and Supervision Circles, and we are here today with Liz Petillo, and she is a fabulous counselor in the office of Forgewell Solutions. So we are thrilled to be talking to her today about her private practice and some of her interesting case consultations. So Liz, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I am very excited. You are absolutely one of the most popular counselors in the office. Poor Liz cannot get a break and gets referrals every day. So that is really a testament to kind of the therapy that you give and what you're doing with your clients. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So Liz, tell us a little bit about who you are and kind of how you got here.
Sure. So I have been a therapist for about 10 years now, 11 years. Wow, I'm getting old.
That should happen.
What'd you say?
Isn't that scary when that starts to happen? The numbers keep climbing up.
Yeah. So I started doing agency work. I was doing residentials. I was working for different companies throughout the years, primarily working with children and adolescents. And that was something that I very much loved and thrived doing. But at some point, I wanted to start to be my own boss. I didn't either like the management or the paperwork requirements, or sometimes it was just too much. So it really kind of pushed me to start private practice and being able to work with Forgewell Solutions, and you, Karen, have really helped me figure out how to do this, not only to provide the best clinical care to my clients, but to also be a really good businesswoman.
Wonderful. It's so important. You know, it is, I know we have talked a little bit about, we certainly talked in our own private Forgewell Solutions supervision group. Business skills are not taught, you know, when we go to graduate school and learn about therapy, and they're so needed just for the mere fact of understanding these massive contracts that we sign with insurance companies. HIPAA compliance. Now we have to deal with like telehealth compliances and even just balancing books and trying to figure out, you know, reimbursements and co-pays and all this stuff. So tell me a little bit about what was your biggest challenge coming into private practice? Where was the learning curve?
Everything. So a big learning curve was even just credentialing, how to start, what to do it. Obviously, I had a lot of support of to figure out how to do it, but also like how to get a tax ID number, how to do taxes now, how to actually make your business profitable. I think like the first year it kind of took me a while to realize like, oh wait, I'm not doing something right here. And really being able to set up my business in a different way so it was profitable. And I was being the best clinician I could be for my clients.
I never really sat down and did the numbers about groups and how many people you need for a group and how much do you actually get paid. So I can remember in my head, I just thought like, oh, I make X for this group. And when I sat down and found out, and I was like, what do you mean the insurance companies changed the reimbursement rate for groups? A huge mistake that therapists make is they spend all their time seeing clients, you know, or trying to get clients or something like that. And they spend no time figuring out your business, doing your numbers, you know, really looking at the nuts and the bolts, balancing your book at the end of the month, seeing your profit and loss sheet, you know, so you can really see where you're spending your money and is it worth it? You know, do you need to cut back on some things?
And making sure that you're actually paying yourself like at least twice a month, like a consistent salary, rather than like, oh, I'm spending all of my money on my expenses and like I get whatever the leftover is.
Too, because I really did the work about figuring out what my salary was. I now contribute to a 401k, and my company also matches, you know, the percent. You can match yourself 25% for our age bracket. Can you tell me what you love about private practice?
I honestly really just like being my own boss, never actually having to ask to take days off, never someone yelling about me about paperwork. Obviously, I have to yell at myself to get my own paperwork done. But like the idea of I can just provide the care that I want to, and I don't have to do any of the administrative tasks for other people or for an agency or a company, or I can really ask like, do I want to do this, or is this a good fit for me? And being able to work with the clients that are in my specialty, that I can provide the best care to.
I can really relate to getting to pick the clients that I work with, you know, because I know what my strengths are and my level of comfortability of. I can remember working for agencies and even other private group practices where, you know, they would never force you to take anybody, but once you got somebody and you were kind of like, this is out of my realm, I should really refer out, you know,
Yes.
this is your growing opportunity. And I really felt like I don't have any opposition to growing. I just know I'm completely out of my element here. And I know it's not something that I want to really pursue just personally. So it's not a good fit for me, for them. But really feeling that pressure, you know, I know. And it was such a big point of mine when I opened an office, like, because I wanted to have great clinical care for clients, but I also wanted to create this place that would solve all the private practice problems of social work, like everything that had like ailed me. And that was one of them, like seeing who you want to see when you want to see them, and being able to pick the times that you work. And we will never, ever, ever talk about productivity in the office.
No.
All of those things I can remember thinking like, wow, these things like really kill my spirit, you know, as a therapist. And we just need so much energy to not only engage, but be evaluating our clients all the time. And with all those other pressures, I was like, I'm doing it different.
And I think to also be able to be valued for the work that you can provide. Constantly having no-shows all day long and having to keep these clients on because your agency requires it or you're not allowed to close them. Like, I think that was a really frustrating part for me too. In agencies, I don't want to force people to have treatment if they don't want it. So being able to work with the clients that I want to work with, refer out or terminate with clients that are either don't want the service anymore or are not ready for the treatment yet. Being able to make those decisions myself has been really freeing and motivates me to continue doing this rather than kind of getting burnt out by it.
Yeah, that's great. So how do you make sure you do take the time off that you want?
I try to go to at least one new country a year.
Idea. Say, like, I think there's an interesting kind of discussion in kind of therapists and social work circles of, you know, can people coming right out of grad school go into private practice? And I know I believe, first off, I think anybody should be able to do whatever they want to do as a profession. Like, this is a craft that you have to kind of be drawn to, you have to really be motivated for. But, you know, there is this push of you need certain amount of experiences before you go into private practice. But I think one of the things that I'm always, you know, plagued by is graduate school was a ton of money for me, and I went 15 years ago. I'm still paying it off, and I will not pay it off until my son is a senior in high school and he is 10 years old. So I've been paying it off this whole time. People getting out of graduate school now paid 3 times what I paid. They cannot even live working in this field if they don't make the most money that they can. And the most money that they can is private practice. I don't know anything else that pays more. So
No.
I feel like we need to really support our young people in private practice, and maybe we need to help them. Maybe they're not going to be the perfect therapist for everybody, but I think it's almost our duty to keep the field alive, to help our young people come to private practice. And why not? You know?
Mm-hmm. Because I also hear like a big complaint from people who see therapists in agencies is the turnover rate, because they have all these new therapists that are just going there for licensure hours. They get licensed and they leave because they can't afford their bills. They're trying to pay off their student loans. Like, it's not effective. So I think any way that we can support new clinicians and learning how to be really good clinicians, to be really good business people, create their own business, not only is that going to be helpful for our clients so they can have a more long-term or continuum of care, having the same provider to work through whatever issues they need to work through, that's going to be the best for our community. Having rapid turnover isn't helpful for anyone.
Right, right. And hopefully, you know, agency work, you don't always get, especially like fee-for-service agency work, the opportunity to sit down with supervision. You know, everybody's working because either they're on a split, 60-40 split, so if they're not working, they're not making money, or they just don't build it in to sit down and have supervision and sit down and have group supervision for the young people to ask questions. And also, I could say, like, I feel like I might be in the middle of, like, I'm not a young person, but I'm not like the most seasoned person. I'm kind of in the middle. And you know, the young people also bring such an interesting, they know about social media, they know about the changes in regulations with like DCF filing and all the new stuff coming out of, they really do bring a great energy to the office, and everybody is learning at the same time.
Yeah, like every person has their own vault of knowledge, so why not share that with everyone?
And create a space for them to really step into that role, because I think that they don't think that. Like, of course, you just got out of school and you're really scared and nervous. Like, they don't know that they're an expert in X, Y, and Z field, you know? So I think it's a really nice opportunity. Like, I think it's almost our duty to help younger therapists, social workers, like, create their own private practice if they want it.
Yes. Operating a private practice by yourself, like, you get all these referrals, you don't necessarily know like the other people, or you try really hard to manage a referral list, but like maybe they're also not taking them, or you might not necessarily know their clinical skills or abilities or like what their niches are. But I feel like since being at Forgewell, we have all these amazing people working together that we see, that we talk to, that we consult with. And it really helps us make the best referrals and the ways to really find the proper therapist for our clients.
So Liz, if somebody was to find you and know who you see and what insurances you take, can you just let them know how they would go about doing that?
You can find me on Forgewell Solutions on the therapist page. Myself and all the other Forgewell clinicians are there, but I specialize in kids and adolescents and young adults who have experienced some sort of trauma, anxiety, depression, interpersonal struggles or family relationships, to really help repair or work through some of those issues so they can really have meaningful lives moving forward.
Yeah. If you're looking for Liz, if you're looking for more information about ForgewellSolutions.com, all the information is there. So it's great to see you. I hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks. Bye.